Next, we will discuss more about velocity. The initial velocity is u vector. So, at the point of projection, the initial velocity is making angle theta with horizontal. So, we have discussed that as the particle is moving along this projectile path, the angle of inclination with horizontal is decreasing. At the topmost point, the angle becomes 0. Now we are discussing the situation in which final velocity becomes perpendicular to initial velocity. When this will happen, the final velocity and the initial velocity vectors are perpendicular to each other. Now this is the direction of initial velocity. So at t is equal to 0, the initial velocity is making 0 angle with initial velocity. After some time, the final velocity is making some angle with initial velocity. This is initial velocity vector, this is final velocity vector. So the angle is increased, at the topmost point. Initial velocity vector and the final velocity vector, the angle between them will be theta. Now during descent, the initial velocity vector and the final velocity vector, the angle is more than theta. You are observing that the angle between initial velocity and final velocity is increasing, and at some time the two velocities will become perpendicular to each other. Maybe at this point somewhere, this is the final velocity and this is the initial velocity. They are at 90 degree to each other, they are perpendicular. When this happen, what will be the time? So at what time these velocities are perpendicular? So we will use the dot product concept. At that time, at that instant, v vector is perpendicular to u vector. That means the dot product will be 0. V vector dot u vector is equal to 0. Now we have the v vector is equal to u cos theta I cap plus u sin theta minus gt into j cap, and u vector is equal to u cos theta I cap plus u sin theta j cap. So the dot product formula we will use in a vector. We have learned this. If a vector is equal to a1 I cap plus b1 j cap and b vector is equal to a2 I cap plus b2 j cap. So a vector dot b vector is equal to a1 a2 plus b1 b2. So let's use this formula over here. So the dot product v vector dot u vector will be a1 a2 means u square cos square theta plus b1 b2 means u sin theta minus gt into u sin theta. Then equate it to 0. So we'll get u square cos square theta plus u square sin square theta minus gtu sin theta is equal to 0. Now u square cos square theta plus u square sin square theta, it will be u square. So u square is equal to u into gt sin theta one u is cancelled, so u is equal to gt sine theta, so we have t is equal to u by g sine theta. So at this time the velocity will become perpendicular to initial velocity.